Oh my God, I'm so frustrated. Eddie Hearn. Deontay Wilder promises to knock out Tyson Fury in that rematch. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Wilder did an interview with Sky Sports. Link in the description. You guys see him from the headliner. Deontay Wilder promises to knock out Tyson Fury and says undisputed heavyweight title will come. Deontay Wilder has vowed to inflict a dynamic knockout on Tyson Fury. The article says unbeaten WBC title holder, WBC champion Deontay Wilder reiterated that his next two fights will be rematches against Luis Ortiz and Fury. Quote, "We moved on to Luis Ortiz first. After I whoop Ortiz in great fashion and quicker fashion, I will come back and get old Tyson Fury and knock him out in dynamic fashion," Wilder told Sky Sports. Wilder says Wilder overcame adversity to rack up his 40th consecutive win, stopping the previously unbeaten Ortiz in the 10th round last year. He then battled to an exciting draw with Fury, who sensationally somehow recovered from that 12th round knockdown, the knockdown heard around the world, eventually frustrated by the judge's verdict. Meanwhile, the IBF WBA champ, Anthony Joshua, lost to Ruiz, and they asked Wilder about it. He says, "My time, it will come. I will be unified and undisputed heavyweight champion of the world." He said, "I spoke it, I believe it, and I shall receive it." Wilder previously said about Joshua, "It's not over for Joshua. Just because you lose doesn't mean it's over, even if he loses the rematch, which I feel he will." I don't know. I don't think he knows why or how he lost. He was knocked down 4 times. He gave up, in my opinion. I wasn't surprised by the result. I was happy for Andy Ruiz, for where the guy came from. Like a lot of us fighters, he was looking for the lottery ticket. He said, "Mama, we ain't got to struggle no more." That touched me because we all come from some type of place where we're all trying to support our families and we're looking for that meal ticket. To do that when everyone was against him is amazing. It was an upset for the champion, but it was good for the sport of boxing. And I seen the interview. He said he's like, "I'm not a hater." They asked if he was upset that he wasn't the person that knocked out him, Anthony Joshua. He said, "Nah, because I'm not a hater." He's like, "I'm not mad at all." Congrats to Andy Ruiz. This is Joshua's sister. He posted a picture of the girl, but it's his sister. Anyway, exciting times in the heavyweight division. I think the Joshua rematch, I don't know what's taking so long to announce it, but obviously the Andy Ruiz is an exciting fight that I'm looking forward to. Put up or shut up. Joshua's going to have to prove it's not a fluke, and we're going to see how that goes. We're going to see how that turns out. As far as Deontay Wilder, I think he gets past Luis Ortiz, and I favor him to beat Tyson Fury as well. Look at him looking sharp. Oh my God. Looking sharp. Luis Ortiz, he's definitely a dope fighter, and it's a testament to Wilder who he is, what his character is, what he's about. Because to this day, nobody trying to fight against Luis Ortiz. And what I mean by nobody, I'm talking about nobody with something to lose. Somebody with the brand, somebody with a name, somebody with clout, somebody with the belt. These guys, from Anthony Joshua to Joe Joyce to Dillian White to Gerald Big Baby Miller to Tyson Fury, all these UK fighters that I just mentioned, no one stepped up to the plate to fight Luis Ortiz, even after Deontay Wilder showed you how to do it and showed you that it's possible to defeat Luis Ortiz. I did see Eddie Hearn, who definitely has his own things that he has to focus on, with Dillian White failing a PED test and now being suspended by the WBC provisionally while they investigate. They're saying we're not recognizing him as the interim champion in the mandatory status until we figure out and conclude what's good in this investigation we got going on. So that doesn't sound good. But the thing with Eddie Hearn, I seen an interview for Luke Campbell. No, actually, it was Anthony Corolla versus Vasyl Lomachenko fight week. And Eddie Hearn said, oh, yeah, Luis Ortiz looked terrible against Christian Hammer. He didn't look great. And, it wasn't a good showing. And then the guy, Cali Enigma, the reporter, asked him, he said, but yeah, that's because Luis Ortiz can't get the big names. Wilder's the only one that gave him a chance. Your guy don't want to fight him. That's literally what the reporter said to Eddie Hearn. And Eddie Hearn says, oh, Dillian White will fight him. Dillian White will fight him. All right. As if the Luis Ortiz fight wasn't, ordered by the WBC. As if the fans wouldn't like to see that more than Derek Chisora Part 2. And Eddie Hearn said, Dillian White will fight him. Dillian White will fight him. A couple weeks later, they announced Oscar Rivas was the opponent for Dillian White. And subsequently, as you see on the screen, that's the fight where Dillian White, he beat Rivas, but he got knocked down. And then he tested positive that nobody knew about except for Eddie Hearn and Dillian White's team. And Oscar Rivas was never notified of it. So, it's just a horrible look. So I'm not mad at the fight with Luis Ortiz. Nobody else is trying to fight him. Somebody else could have easily stepped up. Rest in peace to Maxim. Somebody easily could have stepped up and said, yo, I'll take this dude. Luis Ortiz. People keep calling him an old man, saying he needs WD-40 on his leg, saying he ain't this and that, and he lost his step, and these Cubans lie about their age. Then fight him. That's it. All you got to do is fight him. Nobody's doing it except for Deontay Wilder. And again, when I say nobody, I'm saying guys who are in this rat race, who are making millions or close to millions and have something to lose. Wilder's the only one doing it. So it should be a good fight. In my opinion, I still think Luis Ortiz stylistically is more dangerous than Tyson Fury. Because Tyson Fury, although he can box, I don't really see him hurting and knocking out, rest in peace to Sweet Pea, hurting or knocking out Wilder. Versus Luis Ortiz, he has more power, and he definitely has the power to hurt or potentially knock out. I'm not saying he will knock him out, but I think he has more of a shot to produce an elite level knockout, and we seen him hurt Wilder in the first fight. So should be a good fight. The Tyson Fury fight, he's saying he'll knock him out quicker, and I believe him. Speak it, believe it, receive it, all that. I think Wilder has an immense opportunity because he's basically running back his last year. He's running it back, and he's going to get a second crack to tighten up in certain areas and work on certain things. And if he gets past Luis Ortiz, especially like he says, and does it quicker, his confidence should go through the roof. He fought Tyson Fury coming off of a tough-ass fight with Luis Ortiz. So if he gets past Luis Ortiz and proves, to himself that he can do it quicker, and Luis Ortiz, ain't fucking with him, then his confidence is going to be through the roof in terms of what he can achieve. So I think he can tighten up in the Tyson Fury fight, although it's a different style. Luis Ortiz is good hard work at the heavyweight division that prepares you for any heavyweight fight. You get what I'm saying? Like, one of the people that mastered this belief system is Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather will gear himself up for a tough fight by having a semi-tough, opponent where he could tweak things before he gets to the big name. For example, before he fought Canelo Born Ready Alvarez, he fought Robert Guerrero. That makes sense. Robert Guerrero was his mandatory. Robert Guerrero brings a southpaw stance, and he's a tough Mexican-American fighter. I want to send my prayers. He's from Gilroy. Send my prayers to the people who were affected in the Gilroy Festival. I'm from the Bay Area, so that touched my soul and hurt me to hear that. But Robert Guerrero, a good, stern, tough, once defeated, and then he came back and avenged that because he had another loss to Orlando Salido, but he failed a drug test. So that's a good, stern, gritty type fighter who hadn't been stopped. Mexican heart, Mexican American, before he got to Canelo, who was a big, souped up, strong, good counter puncher in a higher weight division. Same thing with Pacquiao. Before he fought Pacquiao, he fought Maidana. That's good, tough work with Maidana 2 times, 24 rounds to prepare you for the awkwardness, the power of Pacquiao. So similarly, if Wilder knocks out Luis Ortiz, then the sky's the limit to me, because Luis Ortiz is still a very dangerous, crafty, experienced, veteran southpaw with more power than Tyson Fury. So anybody who fights Luis Ortiz at this juncture, at this stage of his career, undefeated or one loss Ortiz, that's good preparation for a more elite fight or, a higher level fight, a champion fight, lineal champ, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz. It's overall good work. Luis Ortiz ain't no chump out there, So that's the hell of a preparation. Damn, this is when he went in on Joshua. He wasn't a true champion. His whole career has consisted of lies, contradictions, and gifts, facts. And now we know who he was running from, which is true. I'll never forget the 50 million, asked for 50 million and then turn it down at the same, in the same year, in the same stretch of months. But I do think Wilder, if he corrects some things and Luis Ortiz, doesn't get clipped and coming high off the heels of the Dominic Brazil amazing knockout. I was at that fight, new media. I think he just has more opportunities to bridge that gap. Tyson Fury, people don't put this, like, I really try to break down boxing on my channel. But my thing is this. Tyson Fury showed he can box in the first fight. And Wilder had a rougher night, trying to hit the target. Tyson Fury moving and shit, doing all this extra. So it's not even so much that Tyson Fury made a whole bunch of mistakes. He was boxing well. He acquitted himself well, especially when people thought coming off of the 3-year layoff and 2 light touches, they thought he was going to get crushed easily. So I think Tyson Fury, it's not that he even did so much wrong, and he still got fucked up. He still got sent to the crossroads with Bone Thugs and Harmony in the 12th round. So imagine Wilder, after he's won 2 sports Emmys, after he destroyed his mandatory again in the first round, Dominic Brazil this time, if he beats Luis Ortiz with less struggle and strife than the first Ortiz fight, then I think he's coming for Tyson Fury. I think, things are going well. Plus, there's, I don't know if he'll admit this, but Wilder don't got no Joshua pressure. That pressure, that pressure, because there was pressure not just for Joshua, but there was pressure for Wilder. Because not to say that he didn't want the fight, because we all know that, but it still was a pressure because it was a super fight looming, a super fight kind of in the background that people were waiting for. So with that being said, he don't have that pressure with Joshua anymore. Joshua got pressure to not get knocked out again. So I think Wilder's in a good spot. Plus, you got to look at his decision making in turning down the DAZN deal has looked to be the right decision. DAZN, Maurice Hooker just lost. Joshua got destroyed. In my opinion, Katie Taylor really lost and shouldn't be undisputed. And Dillian White just failed the PED test. Who would Wilder have went to DAZN for? To fight Hughie Fury, Alexander Povetkin, someone he was supposed to fight years ago that failed the drug test again. Wilder made the right choice. And I told y'all, new media, Wilder definitely made the right choice. Being his own man, being his own boss, taking a gamble on himself. Like he told you, this man, between new media and Wilder, we predicted this whole scenario. We said, take the risk, bet on yourself, take the gamble, and play the field, because there's so much going on right now. It doesn't make sense to jump into a DAZN contract. Then what do you know? Dillian White fails a PED. Now he's involved. He got shit to do. Gerald Miller failed a drug test. Anthony Joshua gets stopped. See, this is the heavyweight division, baby. Everything can change that quick. Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson, Trevor Berbick. The guards can change at any given time, especially in the heavyweight division, in boxing in general, but especially in that heavyweight division. Wilder made the right call. The man is winning. And I think his confidence is going to continue to grow if he keeps doing what he's been doing. You see his shirt, #1 heavyweight champion of the world. So if he continues to prove this to himself, then nobody's going to be able to tell him nothing. And like I said, despite if he admits this or not, there was a pressure from him to fight Joshua, who's a good fighter, undefeated, and there was pressure for him to fight. Now he don't have none of those pressures because, do you think he's scared of Joshua now after Joshua got destroyed by a guy with more T-Rex arms than Andy Ruiz, who don't even look the part, who only have 5 weeks to... This man's probably making this face right now, if Joshua got slept by Andy Ruiz, Wilder knows the power he possesses. He not worried about Joshua. I don't think he was worried about him to begin with, but that was just confirmation and affirmation that you the baddest man on the planet when you see what happened with Joshua. He quit. I agree with Wilder. And then now, if he takes care of business with Tyson Fury, his star power is going to be ridiculous. If he beats Luis Ortiz again and, stops him quicker, highlight reels that up, and then he fights Tyson Fury, especially if he knocks him out and he does it, man, this man is, people aren't going to be able to deny his Hall of Fame. People always act like Wilder's not on the path to Hall of Fame. The man he's a heavyweight with 40 plus fights, all knockouts, except for, I don't even consider the Stavern not a knockout, because Stavern tackled him in the first fight and the ref didn't even call it a knockdown. He might have been able to stop him if Stavern didn't do that. It was smart for him, but he bought himself time with that. And then he got destroyed in the rematch. So really, Tyson Fury is the only guy that survived. And he barely survived when Wilder was having, trouble connecting. Man. Yeah, I just think Wilder has a lot of momentum. He has less pressure, enjoying life, winning Emmys. The fans are starting to come around more than ever. He just did an event in the UK and stuff. He's athletic. He's powerful. I just think it's his time right now. And if he continues to prove it to himself, like by cleaning up his work with Luis Ortiz, I think it puts him and positions him in a very good spot for the Tyson Fury rematch. And the other thing is, to be honest, Top Rank and ESPN, they took this huge gamble, $108 million or whatever the fuck Tyson Fury is supposed to be getting, because he's Caucasian, because he's a white fighter, and they like the Rocky Balboa, and he beat drug abuse and substance abuse, and this whole Cinderella man, obesity, and he fought. So they wanted to build up this fucking Lifetime movie type story on him, and they think, he talks shit, and he, fair skin, blah blah blah. So they invest a lot of money, but they really are spending all this money and they don't have an event. From what I'm hearing, they don't have no event that even justifies that. Tyson Fury versus Gerald Miller, who just failed a drug test. I mean, whatever. Tyson Fury versus Kubrat Pulev, who just beat Bill Cosby case. I would like to talk to Kubrat or Jens Lucy. All right, is that a big fight? He's a Bulgarian fighter who just coming off of a case. I don't see that as being a big fight in America. Trevor Bryan, Don King's one of his only remaining fighters. He doesn't have a big profile. Charles Martin, who Joshua knocked out in 2 rounds. I heard they offered Povetkin to fight, but then Povetkin's now fighting Huey Fury. These just aren't mega fights. So I don't know how the pay scale works for ESPN, but it sounds like they're giving him Tyson Fury a lot of money, but they don't have no big event. Tom Schwartz and then Charles Martin or some shit. That's not no huge, massive event to justify that. So I think Wilder is also, in facing Luis Ortiz and then Fury, he's had the tougher schedule. Dominic Breazeale instead of Tom Schwartz, and then Luis Ortiz, who gave him problems, especially in that 7th round. And then you go into the Tyson Fury off that. Tyson Fury going to go into a Wilder rematch off of more light touch type fights that he's clearly expected to win. I don't know who he's going to fight next, but they're talking about in Boston or Vegas, Charles Martin or whoever, So I think Wilder is preparing himself better for the mega fight with Wilder Fury 2. Let me know what you guys think. If you're new, consider subscribing. We definitely working. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.